So let's start, by just introducing the project. What is SquidGrow, if you can, in a nutshell?
Yeah, sure thing. First of all, I'm Shibtoshi. I'm the CEO, as introduced, and up here is my CMO, Dane. SquidGrow is a project that was launched in June of 2022, and it's a utility meme token. We're currently in our building phase, building our utilities, but we're powering through that and taking advantage of this market, and looking forward to what's gonna come in the very near future. Dane, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean,
Sh-
you
I'm,
pretty much got it.
I'm
It's,
choking up over here. Let me put some
no worries,
Copenhagen
man.
in my lip real quick.
You smashed that answer, but yeah, I would say that it's hard to box us into one category. A lot of people have called us a meme token. A lot of people have called us a utility token. We are, I think, a true hybrid of the two. But I think that the meme has definitely evolved more into a brand over the course of this past year and a half since we've been live. So that's, I think that makes us very unique. But yeah, that's you pretty much summed it up. And obviously, we'll get into the more long-winded explanation of what we are and dive deeper there.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of piggyback off of what Dane said, we are technically in the meme category, but quite honestly, there's nothing about us that is a meme. We don't have a memeable name. We don't have a memeable logo. We are going to be known for our utility. That's what's going to define SquidGrow. And we have been building our utility since conception. And as you can see on our Surtech, we've ticked off quite a few audits, and we're still got some things in the pipe work, and definitely looking forward to bringing that to the public.
Very cool. So I guess the follow-up question that comes after that is why SquidGrow, right? Why should people, get into the project, be interested to join the community?
Well, I can tell you a couple things about SquidGrow that might pique some people's interest. First of all, we have a very different approach than most projects. Um, we are a tax token. We do have a buy and sell tax. The difference with us versus majority of the projects out there that do have tax is 100% of everything that is generated from tax goes to liquidity. There is no marketing wallet, so to speak, as far as generated from volume. All the funding for utilities, exchange listings, uh, the nice package that we have with Bitcoin.com, I fund all of that out of pocket. Um, all the utility builds, so that's something that is a little different, and we take security very seriously. Um, as we were going to get into here in a little bit, we currently have 9 Surtech audits, and we will have 11 very shortly after Incubate NFT Marketplace audit finishes. Um, but I like to, kind of. I've always said from the beginning that when we started SquidGrow, we started this to provide a safe and secure place for people to park their money. So when you're going to sleep at night, you don't have to worry about is it going to rug overnight? Is the money going to be gone? That type of thing. We try to portray that the best that we can. That this is a safe project, and actions speak louder than words. You know, words are cheap, but I think through the duration of the time that we've been operating, I think that we have carried ourselves in a manner that backs up everything that I just said.
Yeah, and I think that's we've proven that too. A lot of the projects that you're seeing people talk about, and this past week, this past month, they've just released. They're on their initial run up, which is always fun, right? We remember ours when we launched in June of 2022, where we went to 50, basically 52 and some change. I think maybe it was a 54 ship on BSC in the middle of the
I think it was
capitulation.
yeah, I think it was like 52 million for 2000 X's. And we're still technically we were considered then, a micro cap coin. Um, but we were just finding, our footing, so to speak. Very early on, we knew what direction we were going to go, and we knew that, comparing to majority of the projects that are out there, you know, some of them get lucky. They launch at the right time. They have the right memeable logos. We knew we were going to have to fight and claw for every inch that we got. And I knew very early on that we were never going to see a billion market cap just based on the strength of our logo and our name. What's going to get us there is going to be our utilities. And our spin on utilities, in my personal opinion, are a little different than what's on the market. And I personally would find them useful. That's why we've decided to build those. And I think that's really what's going to make us stand out from the rest. We're building a brand and we're building a reputation. And as I said earlier, we're going to be known for our utility, not necessarily just the logo or the name.
Gotcha. So before we continue, perhaps Shitoshi, can you tell us your your backstory? You're a pretty central figure here, and you have a very interesting story behind you.
Yeah, sure thing. So obviously, I go by Shitoshi. I found crypto in 2011. I first heard about Bitcoin in 2010. I didn't dabble into it until several months later. Long story short, I've been in Bitcoin since 2011, dollar cost averaging ever since then. I've invested in everything from Bitcoin Cash to Zcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, all the way up to my most notable investment of Shiba Inu, where I dollar cost averaged into 37 ETH position into SHIB, and my all-time high in my OG original wallet was $5.7 billion. That is with a B. And that's kind of what I'm most notably known for in the space. But I have dabbled in everything from utility coins to meme coins, and kind of bringing my friends along for the ride with me. I've kind of seen some of my friends make some mistakes when it comes to investing, and that's actually why we decided to launch this project, because it's so easy for somebody to invest into a honeypot or a rug pull. And we decided that we were going to offer a safe and secure place to originally our friends and family, and now obviously that extends to our SquidGrow family as well, our entire community. But kind of been in the game for a while, and the ups and downs of the market. This isn't my first bear market, and quite honestly, I look forward to this market because I get everything that I'm looking to buy at a discount. And yeah, I mean that's kind of the shorter version of it. I don't want to take too much time on the story, but if you have any follow-ups, I'm happy to fire back.
Just to say that even if it was with an M, would still be impressive. But yeah, making billions with investing is.
Well, I mean, people say I made billions, but I didn't realize my billions, right? I never pulled profit on SHIB. I'm very close to SHIB. I think very highly of Shitoshi, Xander, Ragnar, all those boys over there. I would never directly do anything to hurt the project. I'm a true supporter of that. But yeah, it's not like I cleared $5 billion. I mean, obviously there wasn't going to be enough liquidity for me to do that. But I'm a true supporter, and I'll tell you what, the screenshots of that balance in the wallet looks pretty cool. But I didn't offer him $5 billion in SHIB, but I do have a very decent portfolio in Bitcoin, which is actually where majority of my wealth comes from in real world.
Very cool. Okay, so I guess the next question everybody wants to know is the difference between SquidGrow and the competition. You've already mentioned emphasis on security and audits, but if you can expand more on liquidity, the team, the community, and everything else that makes SquidGrow different.
Well, as I said a little earlier, we are a tax token, and all the text generated goes to liquidity. So I put great emphasis on our liquidity to market cap ratio. There are certain projects out there in the market that are taking it over right now with billion-dollar market cap, but if you actually look at them, they have less than 0.5% liquidity to market cap ratio, and that doesn't leave a whole lot of money for the big bag holders to actually exit their position. And if they decided to do so, it'd crash the entire price. We build our liquidity up with every buy and sell. And, as I said, we have great emphasis on liquidity. I don't want to see anybody in my community be in a very similar situation to what I found myself in the SHIB community, where you're sitting on a big bag value, but you can't realize that even if you wanted to because of the lack of liquidity. So I would say that our emphasis on liquidity building is, one of a very attractive aspect to our project, and also security, as we touched on earlier, and kind of our motivational drive. I mean, we are extremely accessible to anybody at all times, whether it's over Telegram or Twitter. We speak with the community regularly. I'll be honest. I pop in from time to time on VCs, not as active in there on VCs as I once was, but I can always be found in the channel. So if there's any questions, any hard questions, any thoughts, concerns, they can always be asked in either DMs or open in the group. So that's kind of another key aspect to us. Dane, I'm kind of running out of steam here. You got something to add?
Yeah, of course. So you guys just heard Satoshi tell you kind of his story in a nutshell. And that alone, I think, separates us from the competition. Most of the competition is dependent on volume from their chart, and that we know how that can go. It can come, it can go just as fast as it's there. It can be gone the next day. So if you're dependent on that, you're not going to get very far. So just having Satoshi as kind of the X factor behind the project, I think has given us an extra gear that other projects don't have. I mean, just the fact that we've been around since June 2022 is a testament to how strong it is. It's been no easy feat to get this far, believe me, and it can definitely be frustrating. But I think that the resilience of our community and our team and Satoshi are something that really separates us from other projects, because most projects, when things hit the fan, they just pack up and go home. When stuff has turned, down to the downside as far as chart action, or something hasn't created a pump, or we've had to go through a migration, or we've had to add a new supply, those are serious obstacles to overcome. And rather than shy away from them, we've taken them head on. So I think our resilience is really, to me, what separates us from other projects in the space at this moment. And there's a lot as far as the utility, what we have to offer, that we'll dive into as well. But that one really stands out to me, and I think that it does inspire a lot of confidence in our community as we lead into this next bull market.
Yeah, and I'll second that. I mean, for our project, our we have a community of true believers. I mean, we have community members that have been with us since day one. We have community members that have been with us since our all-time high. And, obviously, although there might be some frustration there with the price action, as anybody can understand, I mean, they're still supporters nonetheless. They're active in the Telegram. They're active on Twitter. I mean, they've been with us through this. We've been riding through this market together. And as Dane said, and I didn't really want to harp on it too much, but yeah, another unique thing about us is, like most projects, they're reliant on volume to generate funds from marketing, and that allows them to list on exchanges and develop utilities. It doesn't matter if we have zero volume going on our chart. Our building and everything we have going on in the background still continues because I funded 100% out of pocket. So that's another unique thing about us. We do things a little different here.
So a lot of staying power is what I'm getting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've fought and clawed for every inch we've ever gotten, and it's not necessarily been easy, and we've had our different challenges, going through the space. But any challenge that we faced, we handled it head on, like Dane said, and we were extremely transparent about it. And I think that's all the community can ask for. Just having to building that level of trust to an extent, because it's real easy to say whatever it is you want to say, but actions speak louder than words. And that's something that allows us to stand out.
Indeed. And speaking about your journey, you launched on the Binance Smart Chain, and now you're also on Ether, right? Can you describe that that process, and how has it been for you, and why did you do it, and everything that's related to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I'm a true ETH supporter, but I do know a lot of my friends starting out in the space are about BSC. The gas fees on ETH are sometimes intimidating, especially if you're dealing with a couple $100 investments. You're paying a couple $100 in gas at times on ETH. So we decided to launch on the BSC network and establish ourselves on the BSC side. Um, and I feel like BSC is not necessarily an entry level to crypto, because that would be untrue, but it's more favorable as far as user experiences, as far as the gas on BSC. And we did our thing over there. It was a time that the market was really dark and price was falling, and we somehow managed to pump up 2000 X's. But the ultimate goal was always to get to my home turf of Ethereum, and we decided to pull the trigger on that and debut our bridge, which is not currently active because we revamped it, but it is ready to go and audited, and also roll out our supply on Ethereum. So what we did is we did something called an ILO, and initial liquidity offering. And when that went live, in about 26-hour time period, we raised 540 Ethereum, which is just slightly over $1 million. And 100% of everything we raised was seeded with liquidity on Ethereum, and ETH went live. And then we dropped our bridge, obviously, so the community could bridge back and forth from either chain. It did. We did have our own obstacles, preparing for ETH. Um, but I would pat ourselves on the back for the ability to raise the amount of money that we did. But when we did go live and ETH went, the starting market cap on ETH was about 23 million market cap. So we went up slight bit, and then we came back down, unfortunately, in full transparency. But it does kind of your marketing. Everything we've known up until that point was BSC marketing, and it's a completely different animal on the ETH chain. It's a different style of investor. It's just completely different. So there obviously is challenges, but we have to shrug off any of the mishaps that we might have had in those early stages, and just move forward. And just know that when we are doing marketing, we got to cater to BSC marketing style and also Ethereum marketing style.
Yeah, it's been a process. We had to upgrade our contract from BSC as well. So that was something that happened in our sort of journey to where we are now. So we've had some speed bumps along the way that we've had to grind through. The transition to ETH was definitely a high profile one. We launched at 23 million, which was where we were on ETH onto on BSC, excuse me.
BSC.
Yeah. So it's a big deal. And the 24 hours that we raised the $1 million in for the ILO, completely from the community and people investing into the ETH side, was pretty incredible as well, and showed the strength of the project at that time. So yeah, it's been a wild ride to this point, and like Ship said earlier, we've had to claw and scratch for every inch we've gotten. So from here on, the market opening up the way that it is now, it definitely feels better, and we can't wait to take advantage of it with the utilities that we've been building throughout this time. So I mean, that's really what it's been for us. Is it's been a time of building from a grassroots community to what it is now, to where it's actually kind of turned into a bit of a movement, you could say, especially when you see us trending on Twitter all the time, for example. And then with the utilities, the way they progressed behind the scenes, and as well gone through strict audits to where they're very close to being released. And we can dive into more of those, I think, here in a moment.
I wonder if you're allowed to say, are you considering expanding or branching out to other chains in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've said that publicly. We would entertain the idea of branching to other chains if the time was appropriate to do so. I think right now we need to focus on the chains that we are on at hand and better establish ourselves on the Ethereum chain and drop some utilities. Um, and then, I wouldn't be opposed to possibly bridging to another chain as well.
Yeah, and it's been fun watching the fireworks on these other chains. Shout out to Solana, AVAX, and Injective Protocol. They've had some pretty exciting things happening over the past month. So for me, I like to see which one's going to come out on top. Which one can stand the ultimate test, which is the test of time? Can they sustain an ecosystem of projects in DeFi, not just get them for a week and everybody talks about a couple of tokens that are on there. So I think once we kind of see an established clear front runner, then it becomes more apparent and maybe we should give that a shot. So I don't think we've got to that point yet. Like Sol has made a case, so has AVAX, and so has Injective. But let's see who really comes out on top and stays on top.
And the main consideration in that will be the size of the community, or fees are taken into consideration?
I think it's a number of things. Sentiment is a big one. The actual usability of the blockchain and how people actually navigate it with the tech built on it. There's a lot that you want to look at, but obviously the volume, just the daily volume, if you can sustain a level that's competitive to BSC and ETH or even above it for an extended period of time, say 6 months, then I think that they become far more attractive. But this past bull cycle, it was pretty much just ETH and BSC. But now we're seeing these new chains, not really new anymore, but these new ecosystems on these chains battle for that number 2 or number 3 spot. And I think before you pull the trigger on one, you've got to be sure that one is going to be around. Otherwise, you can really hurt yourself. Look, I mean, just look at the things of past. There's been great chains out there that have just come with a crazy amount of volume, and then 3 months later, nobody's talking about them. You definitely don't want to pigeonhole your project into one of those chains should it die off like that, because then you've got a problem.
Yeah, it seems like you're everything is through the lens of longevity and how to stay for the long term.
Absolutely. That's what it's about.
Nice. Okay, so can you tell us some of the upcoming developments in the short term? What you guys are working on, or what we should expect to see?
Yeah, sure thing. Well, with the debut of all the articles that we ran with Bitcoin.com, our very own liquidity locker is now live. It's knoxlocker.com. And we are looking to obviously onboard projects, and we are going to be offering a finder's fee, so to speak, that anybody that refers a project to our locker that actually locks their liquidity with us, there is a percentage that will be given to that person, assuming that the project that does lock with us makes contact with us and verifies that referral. But for the immediate feature, we're not going to be collecting fees on Knox Locker. For the next 30 days, it's going to be a 0 fee to lock your liquidity with us for any duration of time. And then after that little promotional time period, we will implement a small fee to lock liquidity with us. And from that point forward, as I said, any referrals that come and projects that lock with us, there will be a small kickback. In addition to that, one thing that we have been working on for the better of 10 months, our NFT marketplace that will be debuting Mike Miller's NFT collection. He's an artist from DC and Marvel. We're also worked on Game of Thrones. He's done our NFT collection, and we have essentially built an entire NFT marketplace to not only as a utility, but showcase his work as an artist. And that's currently in audit with Surtech right now. It is a little different. Our marketplace, obviously, it's a traditional marketplace, but it also has a minting and a launch pad incorporated into it, where a user can essentially just upload JPEG images and do a variation of an NFT collection, or they can upload the attributes and do a collection that way. But there's no need to pay a dev house or a developer to make you a landing page and mess with the contract stuff to mint your collection. You can do it all on Incubate. And as soon as the audit concludes, we will start our marketing push on that. But it's something I'm very excited about. We've made 3 variations of this marketplace. Obviously each one along the way was better, and we finally knocked it out of the park, in my personal opinion, with what we pushed to audit, and I'm very excited to see that through. Another utility that we've been developing for a long time, which we have 4 versions of it, it's SGX. It's our own decentralized perpetual exchange, where 25% of all revenue generated on the platform will go back into the SquidGrow chart and or liquidity, or both, as a way to support our ecosystem that we are building around SquidGrow. And I'm sure that majority of the people in the space are familiar with perpetuals. We're just doing it as decentralized. So there's some heavy hitters when it comes to decentralized perpetuals, but what we are going to be rolling out is our spin on it, and we are working to incorporate something very cool and unique into this. But this area, if we are able to succeed on it, and this is kind of where we're at in development right now, if we're able to succeed in this area, there is, certain checks, I'll just say there is certain regulation criteria that we have to fall under and make sure that we're in compliance. But this area of this part of SGX, which is very unique and I've never seen it done before, would require KYC on this particular area. But just to be clear, the perpetual exchange itself would not require any KYC. But if you wanted to dabble in this other area, it would require KYC. That's something that we are working on, and that's kind of where we're at. And I won't speak on exactly what we are trying to achieve with that, because we don't have a working proof of concept yet. But we are working with legal to try to make sure if that time comes, we would be in compliance. So it's essentially opening the entire platform up to scrutiny. But I think it's something that's very unique, and I've not seen it done in this space before. So there is that SGX. I'm very excited about that. Also, very recently, after we got our proof of concept, we announced that we were going to be rolling out our own privacy cross-chain aggregator utilizing Secret Network. Those that are not familiar with privacy cross-chain aggregator, it essentially allows you to move money from wallet to wallet or exchange, or from wallet to exchange, in a manner that is harder to track. So essentially, if you have 3 wallets, we'll say wallet A, wallet B, wallet C. Obviously, if you did a transfer from wallet A to wallet B, it'd be trackable on chain. But if you wanted to move wallet profits or whatever it is from wallet A to wallet B in a manner that cannot be linked to you, you use something like a privacy cross-chain aggregator. And it allows you to deposit your funds into your B wallet, and it would not be linked on chain. It gets ran through the privacy network, and nobody'd ever be able to link it. You might say, well, what's the difference from, running, my assets from wallet A through an exchange and then to wallet B? Yeah, you can absolutely do that. But on most exchanges, you do have to KYC. And, obviously the exchange would then have the data and the movements of what you've moved. They would also have wallet B. So it'd be connected to you in a way because you are KYC'd. So, making something that's completely decentralized and, focusing on the privacy aspect of it, I think it's a very useful utility that the space will appreciate. I'm not saying that we're the first to do it, because we're absolutely not. This is just our take on it, and it's something that I'm very excited about. And Dane,
Yeah.
what else we got? We also got our we also got a
Yep.
bridge, and we did talk about the bridge publicly for the masses, so we can actually talk on that as well.
Oh,
So
yeah. Have you spoken on that yet, Shib?
yeah, we have in our community. So aside from our bridge that allows our community to bridge SquidGrow BNB to SquidGrow ETH, those that are in the space, I'm sure, are familiar with AnySwap. AnySwap was a major bridge solution that very recently went down. And, I won't get into the details of why it went down, but there was some arrests made. And a lot of the big projects in the space actually used AnySwap. AnySwap controlled billions of dollars in assets, and billions of dollars moved through it. And, on our road to finding a new bridge, we have decided that we are going to roll out a bridge solution to the masses, very similar to what AnySwap did. For a relatively very low fee, you can have your own decentralized bridge. This bridge will be deployed. Ownership of the bridge contracts will be transferred to the project, and it will be theirs to operate. With this bridge solution, it will come with a generic UI front end. And if they want to customize it, we can do that, or their development team can also customize it. But the reasoning on it is, a lot of projects in the bull run, first thing they want to do when they go live is they want to go multi-chain. They need a bridge, and there's not really a very solid solution out there for these projects, especially if you don't have a dev team or you don't have a decent marketing budget. The general cost of a bridge to build one, if you're not doing a white label solution, is about $45,000. It's not very expensive. You can white label one for probably 15, but then it's just generic like everybody else. This bridge solution will be relatively cheap. I mean, we're talking a couple BNB is where we're at. So obviously it's a lot cheaper than paying a dev house to do a white label, and you get it a lot faster. That's another utility that we are working on and actively developing to roll it to the masses. And I think that could be very good for the space, but also good for the community in the aspect that on our bridge, obviously, we will rake a very small fee, and that fee, like SGX, and a percentage of the profits generated there will benefit the SquidGrow token and community in a way very similar to SGX, either with buybacks or liquidity injections, and both. As you will find if you pay attention to SquidGrow, every utility that we're developing gives benefit to the community and the token in some manner. Obviously, percentages will vary, but there will always be a percentage of every bit of revenue generated going back to our community to support our chart and our holders.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest things too, is because it seems like lately the new hot topic in the space in DeFi is revenue sharing and revenue generation. And we've been preaching about revenue generation and sharing now for a year and a half. So we're going to start to see these utilities roll out, and that's the goal of these utilities is to have them feed into the SquidGrow token and into the SquidGrow project to help it grow. So the great thing about these utilities is they're all standalone. So they're all standalone with their own company too, right, Chib? Like a lot of them.
Own registration, yes.
Own registration, yes. So
yeah,
I mean,
company registration.
That's massive. I think it, like we were talking about the other day with Evergrow, it kind of takes away the stigmatization that meme coin utilities get, because a lot of times people don't necessarily want to go and use something if it has a meme name and then say swap after it. But if it was actually just something that was standalone and nobody knew it was associated with that meme, it might actually attract blue chip investors and user base. And I think that's why these are so cool, is that each of these things that comes out will be branded uniquely aside from SquidGrow. So very, very cool how they just all roll in. And there's a lot, right? Like this is all, stuff we've been building for a while. So short term in 2024, we're aiming to get all this stuff out. And I think one of the other things that we didn't touch about short term and we should touch on is what it is that you're giving away right now. It kind of with the podcast going right now too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the appropriate platform to do so. So currently, we're running the SquidGrow the Challenge, where we are giving away one whole Bitcoin, currently valued at whatever it is, $43,000. So we have been running this challenge since right before the Squid Games TV show came out. Yeah, obviously, there's a certain nod that we have to acknowledge that there is some loose association with that, but we are completely separate, obviously, and not affiliated with Squid Games. We do hold our own intellectual property rights, and we were able to do that by making sure that we did not infringe upon anything that they had. But with that said, we came out with Squid Grow the challenge, and in order to enter into this this challenge to win this Bitcoin, you buy, I believe, 1 billion Squid Grow tokens, which is currently probably valued at maybe $7. For every one entry, for every 1 billion tokens that you buy, it's a single entry into the drawing. And at the end of it, when it's all said and done, we will do a drawing from everybody that has met the criteria to enter into this for the drawing. And also, we are offering out a referral program. So if you buy 1 billion SquidGrow tokens and your friend told you about it, you can put him down as the referral or the referee. And if you win, your friend gets 1 Ethereum. So that's something cool and unique that we are doing. I'm not sure how the masses feel about it. Some have kind of seemed like it was a little underwhelming, like we should be giving away more. But in actuality, I mean, 1 Bitcoin can be life-changing money to a lot of people, and if it's not life-changing, it's definitely going to help. So that's one of the unique things that we're doing at SquidGrow, and we are also currently running multiple competitions in the Telegram right now. One of our mods, Parker, is running, I believe it's a raid giveaway, and we're giving away iPhones, Galaxies, Xboxes. We've had, I believe, 2 or 3 winners so far with that. And then additionally, we were running games in our Telegram as well, where there's no entry. Anybody can play. You can just sign up. And the first round of it was a shapes game, and everybody that's competing, essentially gets eliminated along the way until finally there's a winner, and that winner wins 1 BNB. And as the games progress, every winner from every little challenge will go into the final game where they compete to win 1 Ethereum. So not only can you win 1 BNB if you're the winner, but you can also go into the final game to win 1 Ethereum. So that's just a couple of things that we have for community engagement right now. We've done various things, in the space. We did a around the world tour where I believe we gave away a total of like $16,000 to 16 different winners. So we try to keep it spicy. Might be underwhelming to some, but I think most will find it generous, and we're just looking for that community engagement, keep our community happy, and bearing with us as we're in the phases of building, and ride this market out together.
Yeah, and Shib, that Bitcoin competition, we've got 1 week left, right? Until it's
that's correct.
It ends
Yeah,
on
that's
Christmas,
right.
so it's coming up.
So the final purchase and to submit will be on Christmas Day, and then we will start going through the form. There are some criteria in order to be entered into to actually win. You do a purchase from your wallet on the DEX. It can't be an exchange, and no sells from that wallet for the duration of the competition, obviously. And you also can't transfer out of that wallet or transfer it in to try to inflate the number of tokens and entries that you might have. At the start of this, we took a snapshot of all the holders on chain, and at the conclusion, we will take another snapshot and compare against the submission list.
And Shib, we're not telling them about the bonus thing from that next space, right? We're saving that.
Drawing a blank, actually. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
That bonus thing that they're getting for being in the contest.
Oh no, but we can probably speak on it now. I mean, I don't see any harm. So you say what?
I kind of just ruined the surprise there, but yeah, let's do it. Let's tell them.
Yeah, well, you spoke on it. Yeah, so in addition to the challenge itself and anybody that participated, regardless if you win, lose. We also have some custom NFTs that are being made right now that will be airdropped to everybody that participated, showing that you had participated in SquidGrow the challenge. And obviously, we plan on doing many more challenges down the road. This is just our first little game, so to speak. But for participation, we've had some custom NFTs made that will be numbered, and the numbers don't necessarily indicate like an order or anything of that nature, but we might keep it in mind down the road for any extra perks that we decide that we want to offer out. So if you've participated in Squid Grow the challenge, at the conclusion of it, whether win or lose, you'll be airdropped a custom NFT as well, showing your participation.
Yeah, that NFT is pretty cool, man. I've seen the preview of it. I think the people that participate are going to like it, and we've got a lot of utilities rolling out. We've got a lot of different platforms that maybe those NFTs don't do anything and they just signify your participation, or maybe we end up using them in some way in the future as kind of like a tilt of the hat to our OGs that were here from the beginning and from times like this. So yeah, it's
Absolutely. And I will say real quick, Dane, that the NFTs will be on the Ethereum network. It will not essentially, you won't have the choice to either have it minted on BSC and or Ethereum. They're all going to be minted on Ethereum. So, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, so we may have to collect some ETH addresses from people that participated on BSC if they want the NFT. So we'll speak about that later, how we'll handle that. But yeah, pretty cool. I'm excited about that. I think it's an extra kind of benefit / cool thing to being able to give to people that perhaps didn't win the Bitcoin, but it'll be a nice badass NFT to have in your wallet to show that you took part. And yeah, but hopefully one of you guys listening now wins. I know that most people here in this audience are probably like me and don't hold any Bitcoin. So the notion of winning one Bitcoin is pretty incredible. I would think that your odds, from what I see so far on the submissions that we've gotten, are far superior than if you go throw a lottery ticket up in the air and into
Oh,
the trash
absolutely.
can. Yeah, I've
Absolutely.
seen it. It's not as crazy as you would think to win. Like the odds are very much in your favor still, which is pretty incredible to be able to win one Bitcoin, man. We all know where it's heading in a year. Like the fast forward 1 year, 12 months from now, everybody's got their predictions on Bitcoin. I think a lot of us are thinking 6 figures per coin, and I mean, how incredible would that be for so many of us? So yeah, it is a really neat thing that you're doing, man. The Bitcoin giveaway. I don't see anybody else doing it in DeFi. So kudos to you for that. And I think that people are going to be very, very pleasantly surprised with all the short-term utilities that are coming out after this time we've been building them too.
Dane, a follow-up question for you, right? It looks like the emphasis is very profoundly on utility, but how do you see it as the CMO in terms of taking it to the next level, taking SquidGrow to the top? Do you think it's going to come from marketing or brand?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. But as you just heard us harp on for the last 15 minutes, utility is at the heart of this project. So to me, it's a match made in heaven. The marketing can really begin once the utility is there. We've rolled with kind of the fun meme side here with the Squid Game, Squid Grow tie-in. Of course, Squid in our name. We kind of had to take a shot at that. And we've rolled with the punches that this market has thrown at us. And a lot of times it was just about getting through certain phases. Like nobody was having fun during the FTX debacle, right? Like that was a terrible time for crypto, and the volume came to a screeching halt in most all markets. So, it was about building and community engagement and keeping people, happy and spirits up. Whereas now it's, things are starting to take the turn for the better, and our utilities just so happen to be right around the corner. So to me, it's the combination of the two. It's marketing the utility that will kind of break us out and separate us from the bunch. And then, of course, building the user base on that utility. You can't just drop a utility and just like let it float away like you're in a curling match or something. You've got to stick with it and build that user base. So to me, that's where effective marketing comes in, is with the goal of actually creating that user base. Because if you come out with a bunch of utilities but nobody uses them, that's not very it's not utility. It's not being utilized. It's that simple. So to me, it's like all this marketing that you see meme coins do. Really, what they're doing is marketing their chart to you, and it's all fun and games when their chart is green. Everybody's spamming the chat. Everybody's happy. Everybody's telling their friends about it. But the second that chart turns around, they start to market to no avail, to no effect, and it's essentially, a big game of when you market, are you marketing a healthy chart? So for us, I think the reversal and the big run up is going to come from the utilities that Shibtoshi has just spoken on, and then the marketing that's paired with that will likely be into a nice green chart, and that's where things really get fun. And I think what will be what breaks us out.
I absolutely agree with that 100%. I truly believe that 2024 is going to be a great year for us. It's going to be the year for sure of our utilities. And, obviously there's utilities that we're building on that we have not publicly spoken about. And I'm looking forward to the point in time where we can actually start talking about that. But what we have currently, I'm very excited for, and I think it's going to do wonders for our community. And I'm very eager to see how the space, ridicules the utilities that we come out with. Positive, negative feedback. It's all great feedback. But I really think that we're making quality products here. We've taken our time. Obviously, we could have cut a corner and did white labels for every utility that we wanted to come out with, but then we're no different from anybody else. We are building utilities that are different in aspects that make it more unique, and with the idea that a user on another platform will come give us a chance because we have something that their current platform does not.
Gotcha. And Shibtoshi, I've seen on your your profiles on X, you've taken part in some in-person meetups, meeting with the team.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how does that go? Working together, in the real world, as opposed to online, as most of the community is all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, all of us are in the space, so we all know, how difficult it is to get a true read on somebody, over the phone or over messaging. It was very important to me at a certain point in time that I get my entire team together. Unfortunately, I believe there was two team members that could not make the trip, but majority of the team, we were able to get them together and meet everybody face to face, get that handshake, and have those conversations face to face. And it allowed us to get a good read on how authentic everybody was. I mean, I need to know who it is that I am employing and who it is that's working for the project. And that's what that was. As I said, we had the entire team out. We also had Crypto Windy out, Slum Doge Millionaire, D-Rod the UFC fighter, um, and Bad Anthony, Art of Alexander, and the immediate team. And also Sesh from New Zealand flew in. He is an artist, and he found us very early on X and has done some content for us with songs. And he actually just dropped a new song. You can find it reposted on our main account. Go over to his YouTube channel and give that a watch. I actually quite favor that one. But yeah, we flew everybody out from all over the world to meet at a central location and just talk SquidGrow. We talked about the future. We talked about utilities. We talked about marketing. We talked about game plans, and that was a very important moment as far as I'm concerned. Dane, I mean, you were there. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was blown away by just the overall talent of the team, because the team was formed sort of one by one, not by design, but just they came into the project on their own time. Some people in the beginning, some towards the second half, some kind of right there shortly after it started, like myself. But there was just so much talent. It wasn't it didn't feel like a work trip. Like, like if you've ever gone on a work trip for your job, it's just like, oh boy, here we go. Everybody was excited. It was a good time, but it wasn't like a party where we were just like slacking off and messing around. Once we really sat down, finished eating and started talking about our project, it was fun. It's like just to be able to talk to people face to face about crypto at a very high level and deep dive it was something I'd not experienced before. So I quite enjoyed that, but I was blown away just by the overall talent and enthusiasm and energy of the team. It's very like-minded people, and I think Shiptoshi did a hell of a job putting them together. And yeah, that was of course, the Lamborghini and the place we stayed at and stuff, and meeting Shiv face to face was badass. And I won't forget that part. But yeah, man, I can't say enough about the whole team and the influencers that we had as well. Meeting Windy O, Slum Doge, SquidGrow Joe, Bad Anthony, Mike Miller, some of these legends of the space. That was really cool too.
Yeah, you actually took the word out of my mouth. I forgot to mention SquidGrow Joe earlier. Shout out to him as well. He's been a supporter of us for a while, formerly Safe Moon Joe, and he's now riding with our community over here at SquidGrow. But yeah, it was definitely a very cool experience. One thing outside of the team aspect of it, I learned that Mike Miller is a killer chef. I mean, we had a chef come and cook for us, and Mike Miller blew his food out of the water. So shout out to Mike Miller. But yeah, we have a great group of people working for SquidGrow, and I'm very confident in our future and the ability to bounce ideas off of everybody, talk about marketing, talk about utilities, talk about branding. I mean, there was, it wasn't all fun and games, I mean, yeah, I mean, there was basketball and, baseball and golfing and stuff of that nature, but there was a lot of sitting down and talking about the project and the direction that we're going. And, it really kind of solidified it for me, because obviously I'm the lead of the project, and it's always nice to hear that, the direction I'm going and I'm taking the project, that people believe in that vision as well, and agree that I'm moving in the right direction. So, that level of, revalidation, and kind of the game plans for the project, it was really nice to get.
Yeah, and also shout out to Art of Alexander. We've had some pretty incredible content come out from that week we were there. So it wouldn't have been as cool to reminisce about without that content. So yeah, big shout out to Art of Alexander for that. He crushed it as far as videography for that.
Absolutely, 8 terabytes of content. So I mean, we've got content forever.
Sounds like a lot of fun and very fruitful, which I recommend every project. If you can meet up in events or meetups or conferences, it's always very useful.
Yeah, Bitcoin. Do you guys do a lot of conferences with your company, Bitcoin.com? I'm actually, maybe one of these days we'll cross paths in person too.
Well, we've been to not as a company, but just sending out a couple of representatives here and there to Token 2049 recently, Bitcoin Miami, and a few more other events, but nothing big for the whole team right now.
Right on. Had to check.
Yeah, for sure. No, we're looking forward to it. I mean, if we could. So if you have a few more minutes with us, I just wanted to get your take on the macro environment and, how do you see the market generally? No investment advice, just tell us, how do you see us going forward, as the entire market from where we are right now, which is, let's say hovering about 40K for BTC, and a lot of anticipation for the halving and the ETFs that are possibly coming in next year. So how do you guys see the environment right now? Are you hopeful or?
Yeah,
still
I'll
think.
I'll
Mhm.
I'll let Dane take this question, but just briefly, just touching on Bitcoin. Obviously, I truly believe that we won't see any crazy movements until after the halving. I think what we've seen recently was a nice breath of fresh air. I do think that we will come down a little more and consolidate and probably trade laterally and make gradual steps in the upward direction, and then sometime normally a couple months after the halving we'll start seeing that off the top movement that everybody waits years to see. But Dane, I think this question is kind of in your realm.
Ah, man. Well, my guess is as good as anybody's, but I do tend to spend, all hours of my consciousness staring at crypto stuff. So, my kind of thought on it is, I think synonymous with what most people think, that we're in sort of a mini bull run right now. That's what I would call it. I'd call it a mini one. And a lot of people may mistakenly think that this is the bull run. I do not personally believe that this is the bull run. I believe that we are in the bull market, but I believe that this is only the beginning stages of it. So whatever number we get up to here, I'm not going to throw a number at you. I do think there's a lot more room to go up prior to the halving, because it seems like ETF and the halving is a kind of a perfect storm for some serious price action before the halving, which is not normal for Bitcoin cycle. Typically, the big breakout, blow off top, ultimate altcoin season comes later, comes maybe a couple hundred days after the halving, which to me puts us at end of 2024, sometime 2025 before we really see that blow off top event. I think that's synonymous with the Bitcoin cycle that we've seen thus far, and it's not broken, so why fix it, right? Or I think I butchered that phrase, but the gist of that is that this cycle kind of points us in the direction of the timing of it, and I think that we're still very early. So that's exciting, because already you can see DeFi improving and getting better and getting more volume. So just imagine 6 months or 12 months or even 18 months from now, what will happen when we actually get the new wave of casuals and people maybe who just turned 18 or are looking for something to invest in come flying back into the market as new liquidity. Because right now I'm just seeing a lot of rotation. I'm seeing a lot of old money kind of come out of hiding, but not a lot of new money come in. So when that happens, I think you're going to see the second phase of the bull run, and that's going to be, I think, face melting. I don't think anybody can really predict where we're going to go accurately, but I think it's pretty common that people are thinking that we're going to go to 6 figures per Bitcoin. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm just happy that we're out of the bear portion of the market. We may have a black swan lurking, we may have a big correction, but with any type of extremes like that that goes against the trend, they don't last. So I just look at any type of thing like that as a buying opportunity at this point, and I'm excited to see where this macro environment takes us. I think it's, for the next year, potentially life-changing gains to be had for pretty much everyone that's participating in this space from this time on.
I think we're all crossing our fingers for that.
100%.
Okay, guys. So thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's very late right now. Do you have anything else that you want to share with the audience before we close it off?
I just want to give a shout out to my community. Obviously, I see a lot of us here. Thank you for your times, especially around the holiday season, for jumping on here so late at night and listening to us go back and forth. I definitely appreciate the support. Y'all have always supported me and the team, and I can't say enough. Thank you for all that ongoing support. Bitcoin.com, thank you for having us. Thank you for all the banners and the articles that y'all have put out for us. It's definitely been a very cool experience to jump on here with you and talk SquidGrow. Additionally, moving forward, if anybody has any additional questions about the project, you can always drop us a line here on X from our main account, or you can hit me up directly, or you can jump into our Telegram. We're very accessible. We also have a help bot in there. If you don't want to ask your questions publicly, you can ask them privately. In addition, the team always checks their DMs as well. So with that said, yeah, thanks for having us. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Bitcoin.com. It's been a pleasure. Happy holidays as well. Merry Christmas. And yeah, let's hopefully do it again in the future.
Thank you, guys. Hoping to see you again. Happy holidays.
Take it easy.
Good night.